So, for those who don't know, Stan Lee has passed away. Passed away a while ago. It's very sad because he was a great creator. He helped create basically almost all of the great Marvel characters, especially my favorite superhero of all time, Spider-Man. I was very sad to hear this news. So, to honor him, I thought I'd show you all one of his lesser-known works. Because did you know that Stan Lee helped make a manga? That's right. This is Ultimo, or full title Karakuri Doji Ultimo, which I will explain what that is later. So yeah. Pure vice versus pure virtue. If I can talk today. Can one win without corrupting the other? Or we're gonna find out. Ultimo and Vice are Karakuri Doji, the mechanical embodiment of pure good and pure evil, devoid of human emotion. That can cloud one's judgment. Their purpose is to battle to the death, to prove once and for all whether good or evil is the most powerful force in the universe. Kurenai Doji. With girl and money troubles, life is hard enough for high school student Yamato, but then he stumbles upon Ultimo, a peculiar-looking puppet. Things only get stranger when Ultimo awakens and his arch-enemy, Vice, shows up. Will this be the battle that finally decides good versus evil, or is this just the beginning of a most fantastic adventure? Well, I mean, it's volume 1, so yeah, it's gonna be the beginning of an adventure. So, basically, the plot of Ultimo is that this crazy scientist dude named Dunstan wanted to know what was better, what was truly better, good or evil. So he created 2 Karakuri Doji, or mechanical boys, as that is literally what it translates to. And they're called Doji, just to, make it easier to say, so that's what I'm going to call them. He made 2 Doji, Ultimo, who represents pure good, and Vice, who represents pure evil. And his goal was to have them battle each other to see who would win. And it's shown that both of them, to get their maximum potential, need a human master. Considering that they only know the pure good and pure evil that they were programmed with, they kind of need to know the rest of human emotion. And also, just humans give them more power. So, they need masters. And it's shown that Yamato, he was in the 12th century. He was a bandit. And he was the one who accidentally freed Ultimo and Vice. And they started fighting. And even though Ultimo at first didn't really care for Yamato, I mean, he said that Yamato is a good enough person, so he's not going to kill him even though he is a bandit. But while Yamato is trying to protect Ultimo and doesn't want to fight Vice or him, considering they look like children, Ultimo sees that Yamato might be his perfect master. So we see them fight, and then years, decades, millennia later, we see Yamato again, but he's a high school student, and he's trying to find a present for his love interest, Sayama, and he's going to this antique store with his best friend Rune, and they see Ultimo there, and he says Ultimo's name, but he doesn't know why or who the heck Ultimo is, although Ultimo wakes up when Yamato gets close, and then Ultimo hugs him and everything, because Ultimo remembers everything. And Ultimo says that Yamato has been reincarnated. So, yeah, that's how he's here. But, of course, since he's reincarnated, he doesn't actually remember who Ultimo is. So then Yamato just leaves. He doesn't really want anything to do with this kid doll robot thing. All he wants to do is find the present for Sayama. So he's on the bus with Rune trying to get back to school. And then Vice shows up, and Vice, being evil, just tries to kill everybody on the bus. And he almost does it until Ultimo saves them. But because Ultimo isn't connected to Yamato anymore, his power is drastically limited. So Vice is able to stab and almost destroy Ultimo's spirit core thing, which is what powers a doji. So Ultimo is able, thanks to Yamato trying to fight back and everything, he is able to do one final attack which slices Vice in two. And then we get to see Vice's new master, whose name, all we know is it's K. And K is a weird character because he's a grown man who, since he met Vice, decided to quit his job and basically use Vice to get whatever he wanted. He's just overall just kind of a bad dude. And when he sees Vice lose, he starts throwing a fit. But Vice still works, and they escape, and so does Yamato. He goes back to his house because he wants to try to fix Ultimo. And he remembers what happened at the antique shop, because when Ultimo hugged Yamato, his wounds that he had from the battle centuries ago actually healed. So he thought maybe if he did something similar, like kiss him, I know, it's weird, but he thought that might work, so he's about to try it, and then Sayama comes in because she noticed that he wasn't at school, and she got worried. And she opens his bedroom door and sees him. And yeah, and she says she won't tell anybody about it. It's cool, but he probably shouldn't go to the birthday party. And he's devastated. And while he's trying to take a shower to just kind of, settle down, Ultimo comes in and he says, "Go, scram. I don't want you anymore." So then, we get a flashback back to 12th century Yamato as he's trying to fight the nobility. And we see that one of the nobles has a doji, but it's not Vice. It's a new doji called Jealousy. And apparently, this doji is one of another doji that was created to fill in the gaps between pure good and pure evil. As basically they said, like, pure good and pure evil will have certain parts of it that kind of intertwine and stuff. So Dunstan made more doji. Apparently there's 100 of them. For some goal, the ultimate battle and stuff. And then, in present day, Yamato hears his door open, because he goes downstairs and he sees a whole bunch of food, and he realizes Ultimo made it. So he wants to apologize, but jealousy is the one that opens the door, and that's where this volume ends. So, the story, the premise is really, really cool. I gotta admit, when I first, read the back of this, and I heard the premise, I was like, this manga sounds sick. And, a few weird things, a few just nitpicks I have is, first off, Ultimo, he's cool, except he talks about himself in the third person, which can kind of be annoying. But overall, characters, story, it's pretty good so far. I really do like it. I like how Ultimo's master is Yamato, because it kind of shows Ultimo's mentality of what pure good is. Like, at first, when he sees Yamato in the 12th century, he knows that Yamato is a bandit, so he knows that he steals things, which is bad. But he sees how he cares a lot for his other bandit gang members. Like, they're basically his family. He cares about them over anybody else. So he says, this guy isn't good enough for me, but he's still a good guy, so I don't have to kill him. But then he actually sees how good Yamato is, and this carries over to the present day, where, yeah, sure, Yamato might get angry, he might not want to hang out or do certain things and only focus on one thing, but he's a good guy at heart, which is really what Ultimo is looking for. Ultimo and Vice, they're really cool. They are the embodiments of good and evil so far. Vice literally wants to kill and murder everything. There you go. And Ultimo, he doesn't want to kill and murder everything, but he has mentioned killing before. So he's not above killing. In fact, it seems like he might think his duty is to kill certain people, which is very interesting. So yeah, story is good. The art is also really good, especially the battle scenes. The battle scenes are really cool, and I really like all of the different weapons and stuff the doji use. Like, it's all symbolic. Like, Ultimo uses a lion, and Vice uses a turtle, which, it's cool. I like it. And they can apparently transform into gigantic monsters, although Ultimo hasn't done that yet. But yeah, battle's cool. Story is cool. This manga is really, really cool. And the sad part is, I have not heard anybody talk about it. Like, barely anybody has talked about this manga. Which is weird, because it's written by Stan Lee. So you would think it would get more recognition because of that. And it's also Shonen Jump. How is this not more popular? I have no idea. But it's good. If you think the premise is cool, which it is, and you like action manga, I would say pick this up. It is really neat. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this strange, really unknown work of Stan Lee. And, rest in peace, Stan Lee, because your work's gonna live on. Even stuff like this, because us fans will keep it going. Well, anyway, guys, hope you liked it. And this is Penguin CJP signing out.